Hello everyone, welcome to an episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. In today's video, we're going to go over the new kind of Crouching Tiger Katsu builds and talk about the combo lines associated with the Crouching Tiger build and kind of give you an idea of what combo lines are best used for the build in my experience so far with the deck. And just kind of hopefully help you be able to make decisions based off like what other combo lines should I be running. Overall, without like getting into lines yet, I will say I think the Crouching Tiger build kind of wants two things. It wants consistency, even more so than Ninja does in general, as far as like not clunking up your hands and being able to play out your cards as efficiently as possible. It also wants low resource cards, because in those long chains, you don't want to have a bunch of one cost that clog up your hand and have the inability to really play out those long Art of War turns and be able to utilize your Kodachis as well to be able to extend turns and get multiple mass threats on those long, like big turns. So as we're looking at it, we have the Crouching Tiger build, Crouching Tiger combo lines, right? As you can see, the resources and the damage is basically what it would be if you played a Crouching Tiger followed by that card. So for Pouncing Key, which is normally a 0 for 3 with no go again, it gets +1 go again after being played by a Crouching Tiger. So basically two cards, 5 damage for 0 resources. Key Unleashed is 2 cards for 2 resources with totaling 8 damage. And then obviously most people know Tiger Swipe, which is technically 5 damage off 2 cards, but Tiger Swipe you're going to play after multiple Tigers, hopefully in an ideal situation. But this kind of gives you an idea of the different ones. Out of these 3, Pouncing Key can definitely be used. I think at red, I think it's viable. I don't have it in my build, but if someone had it in their build, I wouldn't say take it out. It's really just kind of how you play the deck. Key Unleashed, I had it in at first for a Breeze Rider Boots build that I thought was really good, and I still think it's really good. But it's not as useful in the Snaps builds. It's basically a flying kick, honestly. So if you're playing more of a mid-range style, maybe a little bit more tankier build, really trying to set up that big Crouching Tiger turn, it might be more viable of a build or of line. And then you have Tiger Swipe, which is automatic 3 of, like, this is your combo turn. This is how you're going to get a lot of damage pushed out. Basically with breaking skills, this equates to, 5 damage threaten on hit, make 2 to 6 more elements of damage. So really important line that you're going to be running. So as we look at the other lines, these lines are going to be from most important to least important in the Crouching Tiger builds. So hopefully let me know what you think in the comments below. If you agree or disagree, totally fine. I really like to hear y'all's opinions. But number 1 for me is a 100 wins line. 100 wins line is the most consistent line that Crouching Tiger Katsu can use. It's one of the best lines because you can play it out, you can use it for discard, you can search for it on super long chains. It hits all the wickets that Crouching Tiger Katsu wants. As you can see for the damage on the right, I put in an extra 100 wins because 9 times out of 10, you're not wanting to just play 100 wins, Winds of Eternity. You're wanting to play 100 wins with a Winds of Eternity in hand. And then Katsu trigger, go get another 100 wins, then play out the Winds of Eternity. So you basically play 200 wins back to back and the Winds of Eternity. So equals 11 damage for 0 resources over 3 cards. So you're averaging almost 4 damage a card for 0 resources. Super nice. And then if that last card hits, it cycles the 2 previous ones back into your deck. So super nice. I really like using these with the long combo turns as well. Super great for that. I run blue 100 wins as well, just to try to have a good starter to be able to proc my Katsu trigger. So overall, I think this is the most consistent line you can run for Crouching Tiger Katsu. And I think that as time goes on, with the low resource cost, with the searchability, with the discard ability to be discarded, it just hits all the wickets that you want for Crouching Tiger Katsu, to be honest. Second most important line would definitely be the leg tap line, either ending in Blackout Kick or Hurricane Technique. Currently, I run leg tap and Rising Knee Thrust, but I do not run the end on either one of these. Not to say you can't, definitely try it out. I actually did have one Hurricane Technique in my list until literally like a couple days ago. I just took it out for a little bit more consistency with another starter. But just the first 2 parts of the line, like leg tap and Rising Knee Thrust, 1 resource for 9 damage, like you almost can't beat that, right? You're averaging 4.5 damage per card for a half a resource, essentially, right? Average over the 2 cards. If you play a Blackout Kick at the end, that's 16 damage for 2 resources. If you play a Hurricane Technique, you're looking at essentially 14 damage for 2 resources. So, and it goes back to your hand. So overall, just one of the more efficient lines that Katsu can play, and definitely recommend it for Crouching Tiger Katsu. These top two lines. So when it comes to the lines, like 100 wins and leg tap, I think are the most viable lines for Crouching Tiger Katsu. After that, it really drops off. If I had to give you a third place for it, I would do head jab line. A lot of people make fun of the head jab line, but in this sense, it's actually probably the better line you can run. You have a 0 for 3 star that you can use to start on those Crouching Tiger turns if you want to try to get that first Katsu trigger. Open the Center, as annoying as it is, isn't a terrible card, right? 2 resources for 6 dominate go again is pretty decent at rate overall, and being able to then play a flush to fist after for 5 or 6, or be playing a Pounding Gale, which basically forces your opponent to block, because the way Pounding Gale works is whatever damage is done from Pounding Gale, if it was played after an Open the Center, it doubles that. So if it comes in for 6 or for 5, not for 6, but for 5, and they block 3 of it, it deals 4 damage because it does 2 and then multiplies it. So even a chop block hurts really bad. The resource cost is what makes this hard. It's going to be the same thing when I talk about the surging line. Any Katsu line that has a 2 resource card really clunks up Art of War turns. You don't want to see those on an Art of War turn. It completely like ruins the turn almost immediately, really bad, and it prevents you from going on long chains. So that's why it's not used. And just in general, the head jab line can be kind of clunky. If you want to put one cheeky Open the Center in, you can go ahead, but I personally would probably only run head jabs just for the starter aspect of this. But like I said, after the 100 wins and leg tap line, things kind of drop off pretty significantly. Then we're talking about the surging line, obviously the most powerful line in a vacuum that Katsu has. 3 resources for minimum 16 damage, but you're probably threatening to card draw twice on that turn. You're with Mask and with Whelming potentially. So it forces a lot of interaction from your opponent, and late game, you can be hitting for 20 to 22 damage depending on how many targets you have, right, for Lord of Wind. So super nice. The reason I don't run it is because it's very clunky with Art of War, very clunky. If you draw into a Surging Strike with Art of War, it's a feels bad. If you draw into a Whelming Gust Wave to and a McGinty, or one of the other, right, without the other, it's a big feels bad, because you don't want to play Whelming for 4, no go again, have to snap it to, and it has to hit to go get McGinty, right? So it's just really, really odd. It's really hard, and you have to pay for McGinty and all sort of stuff. So overall, it's not terrible, but I think it is a little bit clunky with Art of War, and that's why I don't run it. And I think there's just other high value cards that you can be running, especially now, like Combo Katsu. I call it Combo Katsu, but the Kitty Katsu builds, they're running anywhere from like 13 to 17 cards that are not an attack. And that combined with this specific line doesn't work well. So I would suggest not running it. If you want to run this line, I wouldn't run Art of Wars in your deck, which then kind of defeats the purpose of what Combo Katsu does. So overall, not what I would suggest running. Then you have the Break Tide line. This is going to be similar with the Soul Bead line. Any line that does not have automatic go again probably shouldn't be running a Snaps build. That's just my opinion. This is more suited for a Breeze Rider Boots build, because you can come in halfway through on the line and be able to play out like 2 lines at once, so it's a little bit more consistent. However, you could run Torn at Tempo if you want to in your decks, just to get a little bit more interaction from your opponent. The 1 for 5 conditional go again is really nice. Forcing a 5 block from your opponent to stop your hand is really good. I specifically like playing Torn at Tempo on like Chain Link 3 or 4. Like if you Kadachi, they block that second Kadachi with a card from hand, so now they have 3 cards in hand. Then you play a Torn at Tempo, and you're like, okay, if you want to end my turn, you're going to only have 1 card left in hand if you don't have like a D-React or equipment. So it's really good for forcing interaction with your opponent. However, if you can get the full line off, sure, right? Like you're dealing 13 to 14 damage for 1 resource, which is amazing value. It's just to get that off is very hard, and it's not very consistent. So personally, I would only run the Torn Tempo line. If you're doing an experimental Breeze Rider Boots build like I've done in the past, definitely more of a viable line, but in Snaps, not as viable. Then we have the Soul Bead line, just like Torn Tempo, the unconditional or not unconditional go again, like everything being conditional or not having go again inherently, just really bad. 13 damage for 0 resources isn't bad. 10 damage for 0 resources isn't bad, obviously. But the only part of this line that I think is really viable is the Soul Bead Strike. Having that 0 cost 4 conditional go again, that's also a 3 block that you can use as a discard if you need to, and it can get go again automatically off even bigger than that, makes this a little bit more viable to have Soul Bead Strike in your list. However, I personally would probably just run, something different. However, again, Soul Bead Strike's very useful, very good. And I think that it's something that you could think about. But overall, just the line's not consistent enough. Katsu wants to be able to pop off at any given moment the second that combo turn comes, and these cards don't allow that, right? So that's really what you're trying to do, and that's why this is not as viable. So looking at the lines, obviously 100 wins and leg tap probably your best options. And then after that, it kind of drops off significantly. You want consistency. You want low cost resources. You want to be able to search for these lines and be able to extend turns, and overall just be as dangerous as possible when you do get those big turns. So hopefully this made sense. If you like this, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. If not me, it's fine. Go to our Fleshbug Creator. Let me know what I can do better. If you want to join a Discord down below, you can, whether you're a Ninja player or not. We have a really good community, really fun. We talk a lot in there about different stuff. Really trying to cultivate that. So definitely give that a follow if you like it. And yeah, let me know what you want to see in the future here upcoming for Katsu. I'll try to do more gameplay videos. I'm really trying. Work is killing me right now. I normally come home and I make like these videos in like 30 minutes or so, and like just do a kind of a one shot. That's why I don't edit my videos, because I legitimately don't have time and I don't want to pay for an editor. So to dedicate an hour to 2 hours of streaming is really hard. And most of the time when I play games, it's just late at night and I'm just trying to relax. So I apologize for the streams. I'll try to do more. I've done 2. But I'm trying to do more for you all, so y'all can see more Katsu gameplay. And yeah, hopefully y'all like this. And if you did, let me know. And I'll see y'all next time on TCG Talk. Thank y'all so much.